I've got several videos up there. I think I'm up to 8 now. The electrical will go up there eventually. Does anybody have any questions on that? The only problem I had with it was making sure that the pond that you make is lined. Make sure that because I put my first pond, I put it on a grass surface, artificial grass surface. And the next day I had the most solid grass you've ever seen in your life, because all that clear stuff just leaked out and I had this very shiny grass.
What do you use for lining?
Plaster of Paris.
Okay.
And you don't have to use much. You just got to make sure that between each of the rocks that you put together, make sure that you plug all the holes. Then when you get that plaster of Paris in there and it gets good and dry, then you paint it light green on the edges and work your way to a darker green blue in the middle to make it look deeper. Because visually you can make it look deeper just with paint.
I have a question.
The Sculptamold that we talked about last month also will work for that.
Yes.
As well as plaster of Paris.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, that's right.
Anything that will withstand the water stuff that you put in. And I use the same stuff that the florists use for artificial flowers. I love it.
Yeah.
It sets up really fast.
There was
It's
one
nice
thing
and clear. What?
There was one thing you didn't address in the video was how you got, I didn't understand the part about the plastic wrap. Oh no, the Scotch tape, the cellophane tape that you mentioned on the PDF. And I didn't see that in the video. And I didn't see how you made the water that trailed over the side of the fountain.
Okay, I kind of thought that everybody would ask for it because I took a piece of the plastic wrap, which is saran wrap, and I stapled it, taped it to a piece of paper. Then you use a ruler. Let's see if I can do this up here. Then you use a ruler and an X-Acto to cut your strips, very thin strips of saran wrap. Then you attach them. I did it on this one. You attach them to, like if you're using a waterfall, you attach them to this top with a little bit of glue and then let the saran wrap strip fall. Then I take clear nail polish and let it drip down.
Okay. Yeah, she's putting big glob and it's dripping
Let
down
it
there.
drip down the edge of the piece of saran wrap. It turns the base kind of shiny like water would. And then in the area of where it touches down at the bottom, you touch it up with a little bit of the clear nail polish. But I use saran wrap. We use those in, like when we were doing train waterfalls, use saran wrap coming down from the top of the rocks and then attach it at the bottom also with glue. Don't put your clear nail polish on it for a drop or a drip until after it has totally dried at the top and the bottom. Otherwise your saran wrap is going to go straight down for the rock. And it'll fall, believe me. And you'll have this little puddle on the bottom. But that's what I do with saran wrap. And saran wrap is a bummer to try to cut unless you affix it to paper. And then when you're cutting it with your knife, cut it with your knife at a low angle so that you're getting the sharp edge of your knife and not the point. Because if you do it with the point, it'll rip. Was that satisfactory, Cindy?
Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
Okay.
And I didn't win the 3D printer either. Karen won it. Somebody named Karen. So
Yeah, I've got the winners if anybody wants to hear them later on.
Oh,
I
yeah.
checked.
yes, the waterfall explanation was great. Thank you.
Was there a PDF also, or just the video?
I just did the video.
I saw a PDF as well.
Oh,
The instructions, I did this a long time ago.
Marcia's put several things up in the files about water features.
Yeah.
So,
okay, I'll look later.
and they're
Yes.
from several sources. She's been posting that regularly all week. Okay, thank you. That was good.
Lucy, on our
Mhm.
kids club project, I used a piece of saran wrap and I kind of wrinkled it. So it's got dimension, so it's not flat.
That didn't come through real clear.
Oh, on our kids project, I used a piece of saran wrap and I
Uh-huh.
wrinkled it, not up and down ways, but sideways, so that it had like a flow to it. So it has more dimension like water would.
Right.
Shirley, did you cut the strips or was it a bigger?
I just cut a chunk of saran wrap with my scissors.
Okay.
Maybe when we get a break, I should run down and get that because a lot of you ladies haven't seen that. Most of the regular chat people have seen that.
Right. You
If
should.
you go to Woodland Scenics, they have a lot of nice videos on how to even do rapids and all great videos on water. Really good videos.
Scenic, what is that?
It's called Woodland Scenics, and you can
Woodlands.
see all the supplies there, and it's an absolutely fantastic site. They have so many instructional videos of different things about building scenery and all that good stuff.
Say
So
the site again.
Woodland Scenics.
Oh, okay. Got it.
That's to train people, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've done water falls also with saran wrap, but we just ran the resin down it. So, but the trouble is with age, it turned kind of yellow. It was a long
that-
time ago.
With the resin that they use for artificial flowers, it doesn't,
Yeah.
for some reason, it's not turning yellow yet,
That's
I've
good
had-
because, yeah, the old stuff did.
right?
The files have the two products that Lucy uses for water
Good.
on a links.
The last time I was in Michael's, I noticed they had a lot of resin. They're really pushing it right now for the jewelry making. And I don't know if that's any good or not, but there's a lot of it in the store.
I saw some Mod Podge resin that comes in two parts. And I didn't know if
you
that
don't
would be the
want to
same
use
type of
resin-
resin or not. That was at Michael's.
you don't want to use resin, try just using a clear glue, strip it down a piece of plastic sheeting or a polythene bag or saran wrap or something like that. When it's dry, you can peel it off and stick that to your water,
Mhm.
and that works.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
A lot of people don't like using, especially the two-part resins, if they come across that. It's an expense you don't have to have.
And this is the one from Woodland Scenics. It's called Realistic Water.
Yeah.
And that's good stuff too.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
one part, then you can, I don't know about doing the dripping thing. I haven't done that yet with this, but they also have some other products regarding water. But I just did for my saloon, for my horse trough, it's not dry yet, so I can't really tilt it too much. But anyway, I poured some in here and let it dry overnight, and it does shrink up. And so I went ahead just a little while ago and I poured more in there so it's fuller. But yeah, so I'm using it water, and I put a little, you can put paint in it, you know, to color it or whatever you want to do. And so it's good. I really like this stuff because it's one part, you know, you're just pouring it in and you're done.
I quite liked a video where somebody used a straw to blow eddies into the water.
Oh,
Mhm.
nice.
It worked, looked good.
Yep.
So Lucy, when you did 2 layers of the resin in your water fountain, was that because it shrank up too?
I haven't put the resin in the water fountain yet. I'm still letting one part of it dry, but that's got a light underneath.
Oh,
And
Well,
I
I was
figure, this has got a light, so that when the water is put in it, it'll reflect.
Oh,
nice.
nice. Good idea.
What I did was I stuck one of the
Oh,
a
cool.
micro battery with a switch.
Oh, cute.
And then hide it underneath.
That is cool.
Lucy, did you glue the rocks on the outside of the wood with plaster or with glue?
I didn't put anything on the wood,
The rocks.
just the rocks.
Ah,
Yeah, but did you glue them on or use the plaster?
Yeah, I glued them on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I built the frame
Wood, yeah.
with the rocks with glue, just plain old
Okay.
white glue.
off my keyboard.
And then let it dry completely. You know, don't get in a hurry. Just let it dry completely, and then put your liner, be it plaster Paris or whatever is going to withstand the resin. That was one of the reasons I used the plaster Paris, because I know that the resin does well in plaster.
So if
I
you
use
filled it up with the green foam, you would coat that with the plaster after you got it cut to shape, huh?
Yes, after you get your frame built with your rocks.
Has anyone had any experience with the Mod Podge Dimensional?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I've used Mod Podge instead of as water a few times.
The
Like
Dimensional,
Rusty
well,
was saying, if you take Mod Podge and drip it on the non-stick aluminum foil on the non-stick side, of course, let it dry completely, you can actually pick it up and attach it to a waterfall area.
you know, what I'm asking about is the dimensional. It swells as it dries.
There was someone on the website that was showing Lucy's instructions. I believe it's in the files. And somebody, I don't know if they're here today, but somebody did do a really beautiful, like a wall type of deal where it had a couple of ledges sticking out and it was running down. And that's what they said they used, but they didn't give any instructions on how they did it. So I don't know.
No, that was me, Kathy.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That is a quarter scale project.
Yeah.
And yes, I did use the dimensional
It was beautiful.
Mod Podge dimensional on that. I
It was
don't know
beautiful.
how well it would work on a very large area. I haven't tried it because they say on their website that it's meant for jewelry and for small projects. But in the small project, it works wonderful.
It was a gorgeous fountain, by the way.
Right.
I use that Mod Podge dimensional to fill my horse troughs for the QC Saloon.
Yeah, I did too. That's what I used on there as
And
well.
how did it
Yeah.
work for that? Did it work well for that?
Yeah, it worked
Well,
great.
Yeah,
I
I
have-
made sure
I
there
have
were
the
no
product.
cracks.
I have the product, I just haven't used it, and I was wondering, because that's what I'm thinking of going with on my water features.
Well, we'll all be interested in hearing how that works. I haven't ever seen it, so I'm gonna have to look for it, the Mod Podge one.
Well, I'm one of those people. I hear about a product, I have to go buy it.
Right.
You know, and then I have them all, and then I forget I've got them.
It comes in a bottle like this.
Yep, that's what I've got.
Oh, that's the
Doesn't-
dimensional, but that's not, oh, the dimensional paint. But what about the new Mod Podge 2-part resin?
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either.
That's the one I haven't heard of. I've heard of the dimensional one, but.
I've heard the dimensional, and I looked at our Hobby Lobby, and our Hobby Lobby didn't have it.
Oh.
I would think that you should be able to layer that and get it thicker and make it look more dimensional, or
I think so, yeah.
You
And it's
can
really-
layer
you just got to be patient and let it dry between layers.
It does clean up with soap and water, cool water. Let dry for 3 hours. Don't shake it because it'll cause bubble.
There's
Mod Podge has come out with-
there's the little fountain
Well,
down
that's
there.
neat.
Oh yeah, it's really nice. I like
Okay,
that.
where
Yeah.
are we?
And
Can you-
it's held up very well. I taught this
Good.
I'd say 6 years ago. in
Hold
a
it up
class.
again
Yeah, you need to
I-
hold it up longer, dear.
and
Hold
talk.
it up
You
closer
made
to the
that.
camera.
Oh,
Sorry?
that's a good one, yeah. Closer to the camera or just.
Oh,
turn it a
nice.
little.
Can you
I
kind of
did
tell us? Can you kind of tell us how you got the water to drip down?
Uh,
I did, I just glued the little wood pieces between the tiles, and I glued string down.
Oh, string.
Well, this is quarter scale, so, you know, and actually it was thread. Come to think of it, it was
Fishing
thread.
thread would work.
Yeah,
Well,
Honest-
I just used normal sewing thread.
Now-
And we just glued several, 3 or 4 pieces on each shelf, let them fall into the basin below. And then we poured the dimensional magic on it, and that's what gave us our first layer in there. And I didn't even seal it. I did seal it with paint, that was all. So that's just paint on wood in the basin, and then the dimensional magic.
Wow, that's amazing. Again, though, you could probably do that down tiny pieces of saran wrap too. Yeah,
You could, but we just found the string so much easier than
Right,
trying to cut that
right.
on this scale, and I see I've got a
Well, I
tile.
was good. I was glad Lucy showed us how to cut it because I've always had struggled with that. Never
get
occurred to me to tape it to paper.
And the
And for
dimensional
12
magic-
scale, that works great.
Yeah.
the
It does.
dimensional magic stays clear.
Yes, like I said, this is at least 6, maybe 7 years old now.
Yeah,
Take
that's
it
very
up closer to the camera, Liz, so that we can see it.
Yeah.
Mod
I've
Podge has
got one
come out-
tile that has wound its way up on top instead of in the corner, but
That's okay.
There's a good photograph of it on the files section.
That's great.
Very
Mod
nice.
Podge has come out with several new products lately. With the dimensional,
Right.
they also have a glow in the dark and something that glows under black light
Whoa.
Yeah.
and glitter. And they're all new. They've all recently come out. I think Michael's, I can't remember because I get an email from, the different stores, the vendors. I think it was Michael's that advertised it.
Lucy,
Yes.
I got this floral water.
Oh, that's what I like too. I've used
Did
it.
it stay clear?
Yep.
I haven't used it yet.
Yeah, I would. It's good.
Okay.
Well, I wonder if anything like diamond glaze or something would work also if the dimensional magic works.
About triple thick.
It's the Mod Podge Dimensional Magic is available on Amazon also.
I got mine at Hobby Lobby, but I had to check several times before they had it in stock.
Right.
What was the name of that water one, Kathy, that you showed?
Oh, it's called Realistic Water. And I bought
This one's quick water. The floral
Yeah,
water. that
quick
I got
water.
was called quick water.
It's easy to mix and
It's 2 parts, but it's supposed to dry pretty fast. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet.
it does. Yeah, it dries pretty fast. Most of the resin dries between 24 and 48 hours.
I know the realistic water you can layer,
Yes.
Yeah.
so it dries, you know, between layers and stuff.
Because if you're gonna put fish in it, you put a layer and then you put your fish, I think, huh?
Yes, yes.
But don't use gold dust on your goldfish because it floats to the top. And, yeah.
Did I show how to make the goldfish in that video?
Yes.
It's been so
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
Good. Those are little pea-sized pieces of orange Fimo. I think I had a bunch of Cernit at that time and used that, but Fimo works just as well. And it's just you just make it into a football shape and use your knife to cut the bottom fin, the top fin, and then the cutout for the tail, and just use your knife to make the little fins, the little marks on the fins.
Yeah, laying your knife over. That was a good tip.
That was so simple.
And that's where I went wrong when I gold dusted them so they reflected the light, and then of course poured on the stuff.
Yep.
And it all took off.
Oh, Rusty, yours floated up?
Yes. Only the dust. The fish stayed where they were, but the gold that I dry brushed on the top didn't. Oh, well.
With layering, if you want to put like sand or shells or something and make it a little more dimensional, I got a whole mess of the little tiny itsy bitsy shells. And so I glued them to the bottom before I put my fish in. Then you put another layer, let that dry and get your fish in there.
Yep.
And then put another layer on top of that. When you get your final layer, let it dry just a little bit, and then
Sorry.
Avon calling.
Just in time, they got the whole group.
Yeah, you can make little waves on the top of the water. I use the end of a Q-tip without the cotton on it. And I drag the water just a little bit to make it look wavy.
I put little water lilies on the top of mine. But I used, used to be able to get cat food. I don't know if you still can. They get it in pouches nowadays. But they used to have small tins with cat food in, just a small helping. And you can cut those down. That makes a good foundation for a pond, if you want to, because it's obviously it's waterproof.
And you can put the rocks around that.
Yep, you can put the rocks around it, or you can paint it. You can glue paper if you want to on it and paint that first. You could even print the picture of the bottom of the pond and stick that down.
I got a question.
Sure.
When you have your waterfall, how do you make the bubbles into the other pond that the water's falling in? You just told me you took a toothpick, I mean, what you call it, and rubbed across it to make the water look bubbly. I mean,
ripply.
Yeah. How would you make the bubbles?
You know, if I had to make bubbles, because I've had to do that in the bathtub, I use clear, little tiny no-hole beads, little tiny ones.
Yeah.
Just put your little glass beads in there.
I got some. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more questions?
If you want to make water that's dimensional, I mean like waves, I've used triple thick.
Are you drinking?
The Aleene's product.
Yeah.
And the way that I did it was initially it wants to flatten out, but if you keep working it, you know, like over time, it will dry, you know, uneven.
You make it look like ripples.
Yes.
You know, moss grows along the edges of an awful lot of ponds, and you might take a little stiff, small stiff brush, dip it in 2 or 3 different greens lightly, and then just kind of gently tap the edges of the rocks, right where the water meets the rocks or a little bit above, because that's where your moss forms.
Would grow, yeah.
So you can make it look a little more realistic.
B. Broadwood from Petite Properties did one where she put the contents of a pond and then some plastic, clear plastic over the top, which she dribbled clear glue on to make the ripples, and it looked just like the water was that deep. And that was very effective. I haven't tried it myself, but it looked good in the one she showed.
The tutorial on MCC about the seasonal the 4 seasons. On the winter, that's what she did. She used the plastic but painted little dots of white on one side and then turned it over and put that over the pond.
Yeah.
So it looks like ice.
Yes.
That's
Or you
one
can
of the
use a
things I
mirror.
plan on doing.
You can use a small mirror, handbag mirror or something.
Well, I plan on doing what was in the tutorial, except I'm going to punch a hole in it and have a man ice fishing.
They're falling through. Thought you were going to say just arms and help.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it ice fishing.
What a good idea.
Yeah.
That's funny.
What a good idea.
Well, since I'm not a doll maker, I just use railway figures. Because you can alter them, you know, you can carve on them and add to them. Do all kinds of-
What do you stick bits if you want to move an arm? Do you use super glue or something?
If you want to move an arm,
Well,
cut it
yes.
off.
You want your man fishing, and he's got his arms by his side. You cut them off, stick them in the right
cut them
position.
off and put them back on. Yeah.
And what do you use to stick them in? Super glue?
Yeah.
Good. We can cope with that.
I can't think of the name of it. Give me a moment. I do need a raccoon though, if anybody knows where I can get a quarter scale raccoon.
Barbara. What's her name? Barbara.
Barbara
Meyer. Barbara
Uh,
Meyer.
mini gems.
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
mini
she
jam.
has them.
Yeah, she does.
It does, I think.
Well,
She's got beautiful animals.
Yeah.
it's a little costly for me. Sorry about that.
Barbara, you're muted.
Well, that's the problem. I'm sitting here talking and nobody's listening to me. I wondered, does anybody else have something to share they've done with water?
Not me.
I can
Anita
show some
posted,
samples there.
I do. I have several things, but I have just moved and I honestly do not know where hardly anything is. I have can
My
I share
heart
a
goes
screen?
out to you.
Can I share a screen of a photo that I'm trying to capture?
Yeah.
Sure.
Because I did some swaps with our club, and I did the little hand pump that Chris and Bond, the
Oh,
little black
yes.
hand pump, and I used tea lights for the metal container that a tea light fits in, and then I glued wood all around it to make it look like a barrel, and then I filled it with polyseam seal. I like to use polyseam seal for water because you don't have to mix it and it levels. And I did a scene one time with a beach scene, and after it kind of set, it takes a little, it cures overnight, but it takes a while for it to get hard, like maybe a week. But you can, in between that, you can tease it. Like if you wanted to have ripples coming in on a beach, you can tease it up. And I put, before it dried hard, I put little shells in the water and that kind of thing, so that it looks like a beach. But the pump, I had the water, I think I used saran wrap coming out of the pump, and then just filled the little tub with this polyseam seal. And then after that's set up, then I drizzle it down the saran wrap so that it looks like the water's running. And I have a picture of it. I'm trying, but I don't know if I can share it or not.
what did you, Polly, what did you use?
It's a product called Polyseam Seal. It's a clear plastic tub caulk.
It's a silicone product.
Oh.
I just pulled it up on Amazon to look at it. So it comes in one of those caulking kind of tubes.
No, but you can buy it in a single squeezing, regular tube.
A little small
In a
thing?
small,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not sure
okay.
they make that brand anymore because I've had a hard time finding it, but there's probably other brands that are similar that would work.
Oh, okay. This is a GE.
Let's see. But I like it because you don't have to mix it. You don't have to worry with resins or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's a one part.
Yeah.
She wrote the name of it. We were talking a little back and forth on it in the chat. So the name is spelled out in the chat.
Can I don't know how to share this.
You hit, well, okay, you have to hit the share. Do you see the share screen on your computer or your, whatever you're using?
Yes.
Or chat. You bring the photo up first so that you have it.
On
your
left.
desktop.
On your desktop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
desktop.
And then once you bring that up, then hit share screen on Zoom.
Let's
And
see.
a screen should pop up that has any window that's open on your computer will show up, and you click the one you want. When you click it, it'll share it.
Right.
All right, let me see if I
Or
can.
there's a share to hit.
Can I send it to somebody that knows how to do this?
It's coming up.
Oh, that's Jean is sharing. And
Oh, we're seeing somebody's screen.
Yes, we
It's
are.
Jean. It's Jean's screen.
Yeah, it's not mine.
We're seeing all her apps.
I don't know how to get rid of that. So
Well,
They
she
have-
has to stop
they have to-
sharing.
Yeah, they have to unshare it.
Jean, did you do that or what?
somebody, yeah.
Also,
'cause it's-
save it to your desktop and share it in chat. And then we could see it in chat.
Just put it
Okay,
in
let me
chat, but I can't.
Okay, down at the bottom of the screen is share screen, or on yours it should say stop sharing at the top.
Okay. Imports. Put this to the desktop if I can get it to the desktop.
There.
Okay.
See your face again.
I love your background.
What, mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, hers works real well.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah, we're all coming to your house, Anita.
Yeah.
Let me put everything away. Oh golly,
Oh,
I have a craft
I
and
like
everything's
that
just
one.
stuffed in there. Oh golly.
So what is this called? Is it going on chat?
I'm trying to get it. I'm not sure what I've done.
Okay,
Let me
have you
back
got
out.
it on your desktop? Have you got the picture on your desktop?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay. When you
That's what
bring the
I'm trying to
picture
do.
up,
Yeah,
the choice
I'll-
should be, one of them should be desktop.
Okay, let me see.
Send to,
I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm
she's
usually pretty
struggling.
good
No,
at this
take
sort
it.
of thing. Okay, there we go. All right, here we go. I got it on the desktop.
okay, now go back to the Zoom
And share screen.
and at the bottom, about the center, bring the icons up. There's one that says share screen. Click on that.
Share screen.
And then there should be something come up with all what everything that's on your desktop, and that picture should be one of them. So click on it, and then the bottom right is share.
All right, I've got. I thought you can't see it. Can you see it?
No.
I can see you.
Can't
All right,
we
I did
just
something wrong
type
and I
the
don't know how to
name?
get out of it. Let's see. Let me get out of this. Share screen. Desktop.
It's that green button at the bottom.
Yeah, the share screen, but she's got that, I think.
Good heavens. Desktop.
You don't need to open your, you don't need to go to the desktop.
All right. Share screen.
Yep. Now,
And
what shows?
Okay, desktop, whiteboard, iPhone, phone, finder. And
Okay.
desktop has an exclamation. It's blue and it has an exclamation point.
I made some sculpting heads today, and I thought I had wash colored sculpting, and it turned out to be translucent. It was a disaster looking, so I had to paint it.
You said I could put it in the chat.
Just
No.
type the name. What are we
No.
looking for? Just the name of
It's a-
something?
If
It's
it's
a
on,
photo of-
picture.
It's a picture of the little plastic hand pump that Chrisambon does, and it's a fountain that's going into a barrel.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Anita, send it to me at PB Jewelry and Gifts.
Do what?
Just send it to me and I'll try and get it up once the program's over.
All right. Send to.
What's the name of the product that we were? Poly.
Well, Poly Seam Seal.
She was just using a clear silicone caulk is what she used.
I couldn't understand what was after poly.
Seam, SEAM.
Seal.
Seal.
Okay, give me the address of where I'm supposed to send.
Oh, okay. Poly Seam.
PB Jewelry and Gifts.
P.
B as in boy. P.
Uh-huh.
P as in pony and B as in boy.
Or Paula Bigelow.
Paula Bigelow. Yeah, for Paula Bigelow.
Is it PB or BP? Oh, is it Paula? Am I sending it to Paula?
Yes, send it to me. Here, I'm
Okay,
gonna type.
right here,
I'm
I've
gonna
got
type in the chat box, and you can just.
I've got it. Here goes. All right. I just sent it off to you.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Oh.
Well, girls, I don't want to love you and leave you because this is fascinating and I'd love to stay and see the finish, but I'm going to have to go. Sorry, girls. Night,
could watch
See you later,
Have a
Rusty.
good night,
Thank
Rusty.
you for all you've showed us this
Good
evening.
night, Rusty.
Good night.
Rusty.
Good night. Bye.
Anita, is it by any chance anything like this?
Yes, very much like that. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Nothing
wait,
else.
hold it up there.
Yeah, we made that so long ago that I don't remember
Oh,
what
okay.
it was. But
Oh, yes. But she's got water coming out of hers. Is there water coming out of yours?
yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, we couldn't see the water.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's good, Barsh. Yeah.
And there's
Let me go get the beach scene. I have that right here. It's just taking it apart.
Yeah,
what-
hold it up higher. Oh, yeah.
Like that.
What's the
Very
water
nice.
made out of?
Oh, I don't remember. It's been so long ago. Probably a two-part of some sort. I don't know.
Okay.
It's one of the very first things I made when I joined the local club. And that was in
Oh.
about 96 or 7.
Ooh,
Oh,
okay.
There's
And you
probably
didn't
been some
paint it,
improvements.
The rock.
Kathy's in outer space. Better go get her. Are you tethered, Kathy?
Yes, definitely. Well, we're waiting. I'm going to show you what you can do with triple thick.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Oops. There you
You
go.
want to get rid of your background, I think, but.
Yeah, I do. Hang on. I got to find it. Oh, shoot.
I thought maybe you were out in outer space or something.
You must be outside the space shuttle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got to fix something. Something must be busted.
Okay, here's the one that I did of the beach scene.
Oh, where are you now? I have to go back to where you were.
Okay, wait a
wait,
minute.
Well,
now.
Kathy's showing something.
Kathy's got
Oh,
hers.
okay.
And then we'll go back to Anita.
So you did yours, Kathy, on a board, huh?
I can't, oh.
Can you? I don't know if you can see that or not,
Yeah.
Okay.
but I've got shells in there. I wanted the shoreline. Let me pull it back a little. If I can get it right. There you go.
There you go.
There's a house that sits on it, but it's not glued. It's on stilts. So the
Cool.
glue doesn't hold, but that's what I did with triple thick.
Your beach
Most
looks
of
really
you
good.
don't move a lot. The reason I tried it, and somebody gave me the idea, I had one project, it was a 1 inch, and I was in a very, very dry climate. and it was fine. I moved to a damp climate, and it's one of the ones you can pour for thickness. And I have no idea which one it was, but it got tacky. I went to clean it. It was dusty and it was tacky, and I ruined it. So be aware of where you live and the products you use. That's all I want to say.
Oh, how frustrating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. It was. It was something real special I'd made from a little park, and I had fish in the pond.
Yeah, what you have to do is you have to seal it after this stuff sets up and dries.
How do you do
It-
that? then?
It wasn't that. It was the fact that I moved to such a damp area.
Yeah, and it moisturized it. Yeah.
It got
Wow.
tacky. It never got real runny, but it was tacky. And that dust got on it and it actually ruined it.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, I was disappointed.
Okay, can you see this now? The
Yes.
that's polyseam seal,
Wait a minute.
and it is clear. I painted the underneath of it in shades of blue and kind of a not silver, but something to make it look like it was glistening. And then I think what was that product you said it's sand on Sculptamold. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. This is really
Oh,
old.
I like that.
I did this years ago.
Now, have you got a house that goes on there or no?
No, this goes on there.
Gazebo or something?
Oh.
Ah.
Oh,
Mr. Sassy, he's got his tongue stuck out. It's an oyster shell. This was a Soothwaite class, Ladybug. I never laughed so hard in all my life when we made that. But that's a long time ago. But I love the
Yeah,
polyseam silk.
is she still around?
She has moved to South Carolina. I think her husband has had some health issues. So she's kind of taken a step back, I guess. She's
Yeah,
not
I haven't
really
heard
doing
of
lot
her
right
in a
now.
long time.
in
No.
here.
She just recently she moved and set up her studio down there, but I don't know that she's doing all that much because he's had some pretty severe health issues. And
Right.
she's been taking care of him. But the neat thing about this, as I mentioned, that after it was set, it was still soft enough that I could go back in and put some shells into the water.
That's great.
But it's hard, and it doesn't turn color. And you don't have to worry about mixing resins and all that stuff. So I love this.
And
wish
so
I
what
could
did
find
you
the
use
other-
on that one?
What's that?
What did you use?
The polyseam seal.
Oh, okay.
Polyseam seal.
9.
And again, I tried to find it. It's not, for some reason, Lowe's used to carry it. And the last time I looked for it, they didn't have it, but they had another brand. So it's like a clear tub caulk.
Yeah.
So if you look up polyseam seal and find out what the ingredients are, you can probably find it in another brand name, the same thing.
Yeah, it's probably a silicone seal.
Yeah, it's a clear silicone.
Yeah, it might be a silicone.
It is.
Mhm.
I've got a water one.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, cool.
Well, yeah. You see it.
Who's doing it? Oh,
Fern. So pin me.
May I ask a question, please? Is there any way that I can set my screen up so that the person who talks next will come up?
What are
bigger?
you on? What device?
I'm on a laptop.
Okay, it should be.
You can probably do speaker view.
Speaker view.
Speaker view.
Well, that doesn't work unless you're speaking when you're showing it. So
Right.
the other thing you
Yeah.
can do is to pin it. So Marcia, you want to tell her how to pin it?
Okay, you're on a laptop, so it should be. Put your cursor on Fern's picture and right click.
Yeah, I have to find Fern first. Okay, here we go.
Over here.
Right click.
I have it on speaker view, but when the person speaks, it doesn't go bigger. It just stays, because I have it all
Right.
tiled.
So you need to pin it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I was-
put
can
your
you-
cursor on Fern's screen, right click, and when it says
I'm
pin,
sorry.
click on that.
Thank you. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
That's fine.
That's all right. The other thing you can do is change your view. Instead of seeing all the tiles, you can have the speaker view on there, and then you have tiles above.
Now, Fern, what, is that something in the bottle?
Yeah, that, I don't know if you can
Diver.
see, there's a diver and there's a person swimming. And then there's a person on the tiles, and I dripped some water over there. And I think that's the only water, a little bit of water just dripped around.
How cute.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really
Yes.
creative.
I used scenic water and I had to do that several times to
What
get.
did you
at-
use for the bubbles?
Actually, I didn't want the bubbles. They just came up.
They came naturally when she poured it from a high height at the top of the bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the person that's in there needs the air.
That's all right.
Yep, she's holding
Well,
her
when
breath.
you dive in, you make a lot of bubbles.
I don't know how the bubbles, I really wanted it just completely still water, but it didn't happen. So I had to pour the water in there, put the person on, and then pour the next set of water and sort of wait till it was almost set, and then put the diver in. And then there's a little guy there floating on a.
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
He's on the top. And there's
That's
another one
cute.
up there.
Very cute.
What did you use for your water?
I use scenic water.
You can reduce your bubbles with heat. You can use a heat gun, but you can also easily burn it. So you have to, be very, very careful. But it will make your bubbles go to the top.
Okay, the person that asked about the pin and all, put your cursor up to the top left and where it says remove pin, click on that, and then back to view, gallery view.
Okay, that's what it was.
I have
And
three
I-
different water
Yeah,
features.
it's working the way I wanted to. So whoever speaks next will come up on my screen. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Hmm?
And I don't know if it was noticed, but Lori Jackman said her microphone's not working. But she sent photos to Marcia about her water scene. She only uses ultimate glue for making water.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Did Marcia show it or not?
I'm looking and I don't
Sarah.
see an email. So it either hasn't come in yet. I don't know. So it's not here yet.
Ladies, I'm gonna have to go.
okay.
So I'll see you all again.
Do you have something to show? Liz,
Sorry?
do you have something to show?
No, I did
earlier.
earlier. That was all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye, Liz.
Thank you
Take
later
care.
now.
See
Bye
ya.
bye.
Bye.
Okay, who else has something to show?
I have three.
Okay,
Oh,
May and Shirley. So May, go ahead.
Okay, I'm unmuted. I'm gonna try and hold this up and hold it as steady as I can. I made this probably 35 years ago.
Hold it up.
In a class.
Oh, cool.
And it's
That's
actually, you
great.
can see well, you can't because of the angle. There's wires hanging down. There's actually a light that's underneath between the lowest level and the middle layer of the fountain. And that's, I think we used the saran wrap to do the waterfalls, the little drips coming down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I've also got a pond that I did. I think I'm pretty sure it was at the convention in New Hampshire a few years ago. And actually the gist of it was to make the bamboo, but then you also did the pond with the fish in it. And actually the other one had fish in it also.
Right.
Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, now, is that a 1-inch one?
Yeah, this is 1 inch. Actually, they're both, well, this is 1 inch. The other one is actually smaller than that. I don't really know what scale you'd call it.
What's the base underneath? Is that, I mean, how did you make the pond deep?
The base was pre-made for us in the class.
What's it look like? Can I see
Well, there's felt on the bottom, actually.
I mean, is
And
it
it's
a,
actually, it's very lightweight, so it feels almost
I
like
think they use
styrofoam.
probably the foam, that green foam to sculpt out the pond part.
oh,
foam like Treble uses.
carved out the pond?
Well, and again, that was done for us already.
Yeah, I just wanted to see how it was done.
And I mean,
Yeah.
here's, the bottom is
Oh.
just
Yeah.
felt glued on the bottom.
So they had a big, okay, so it's okay, they just carved it out of the foam.
That's
Yeah,
what
but I
it
mean,
looks like, yeah.
Probably, because that's
That's
what I
pretty
need
neat.
to know for my swimming pool.
the main part of the class was making the bamboo. I mean, that was the main gist of the class. And then,
Where's the bamboo?
The green tungsten. Water.
Oh,
I-
again, let's see. Maybe I moved the people over.
Oh,
that
Oh,
bamboo.
there. Okay, so now I can just carve it in.
Yeah, and then coat it with the plaster.
Yes, that's what I
Otherwise, the rosin
I
will
know
eat
that was
the
cooking.
foam.
need. And then fill
Yeah.
it for my swimming pool. All right.
Uh-huh.
And I remember, I didn't pull it. This is the 2-part resin, and I didn't pour it until I got back to the hotel room after the class. And then I had to put a big sign by it so that cleaning people wouldn't touch it.
Oh,
And then I was just praying that it would dry before I had to try and figure out how to transport it home. And actually a dealer that lived about 7 miles from me here in the Cleveland area, he transported this back home for me along with
Oh, wow.
something
That's
else
great.
because I was flying.
oh my gosh.
So he was nice enough to bring the stuff home for me. So of course, when he got home, I ran over to his house and brought the stuff back home then.
Good
So
deal.
those are the 2 things I brought back
I
here to
like
show.
that,
So
yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm amazed there's so many fish still left in that pond. That's what cranes eat, you know.
Well, that
That's
that
what
water's
he's
a
doing
little
there is eating.
that
Good
water's
night,
a little
everybody. I'm
salty
gonna
on
go.
top.
I did post a file to the chat, and if you click on it, it should open the photo. At least it does for me. I don't know if it does for anybody
Yeah,
else.
I open it up and it's.
Yeah, I opened it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, good.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah. All right. That looks about the same as where did I put it? There it is.
Mhm.
How do you make it big enough?
It's a little different, I think, but it's
I
about
can't
the
bring
same.
it up.
If you click on it, you can enlarge it, usually at the top of the picture. It
It's
has
on
little-
my screen now.
Yeah, but to make it bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
um,
but Marcia'd probably have to make it bigger.
Yeah,
Well, there-
click
the
click on
picture
it
is
and it'll
the-
go to your computer. And then at the very top, there's usually a little, two little magnifying glasses. One has minus and one has a plus, and just click on the plus and it'll make it bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Okay.
there.
we
Oh,
go.
okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was just in the process of pulling it off the email because it finally came through. Why don't you go ahead and share it, Marcia?
Well, can everyone see it?
If
Yeah.
you share screen,
Yeah.
they should.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Okay, good.
The other file that somebody was talking about, Lori's file, that's the one that's on the files section of Cyber Minis. It was posted with all the other files earlier, I guess, in the week.
Yeah, that's on files, yes.
Here I go.
2 on files are Lori's and Liz.
Okay.
Did you see the remark that Lori said she used ultimate glue for making water?
Yes. And I'm going to print the file, the chat.
Yeah.
Too, when we get through. Okay, Shirley.
Yeah, I've got 3 different things. You Tuesday night girls are probably getting tired of seeing this. The one that I made with the kids. Pulling up my camera here. This is using the fun foam rocks. And for the water, all I did was use a piece of cardstock that's that color. The fish are paper, and then I used a stylus to shape them. And then, you know, like the bubble packs that you get your bakery and stuff in, I just used a piece of that for water.
Oh.
You know, for kids, we're trying to keep it low key.
Yeah.
Sure, but it turned out great.
Yeah, it doesn't look too
Great.
bad.
But if any of you have youth groups that you're working with, that's an idea.
Yep. Yeah, it's very low cost. Yeah, and for those of you that haven't seen the whole thing, I'm trying to move my camera here. So we got all the flowers and the hanging flower basket.
Oh my gosh, that's cute.
And
That's great.
let's see if we can go up above. It's hard to do this. Yeah, the flower garden goes on both sides. And then we've got the grass. This is just a piece of grass from the like Home Depot, where you get it by the yard. Okay.
Your desk looks like mine.
Yeah.
Pond number 2. This is a class that I taught at a convention years ago. It's a little fairy on a slab of wood, like the tree slice. And here's the pond. Now, I used a piece of heavy duty aluminum foil and shaped it the way I wanted it, poured and painted it. I wanted a dark pond, so I didn't shade this one, but I have shaded it with, you know, starting with dark in the middle and faded out lighter. And then when I was all done, I just cut the edge off around the foil and put my green stuff around it.
What was the water?
Resin, 2-part resin.
Okay.
Yeah, but I just used heavy duty aluminum foil. And these are train figures. I can't remember the name of the company. It starts with a P. And you get this kit and you make, it was like $35 and you make about 6 or 8 different little figurines out of it. So there's that one. And
That brings to mind, I've seen people use sliced agates to make ponds too.
mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. And this little one here, this is quarter scale. I just painted little spots of orange and white paint to make the fish. And once again, I used the cardstock in a turquoise color. And you can see here, I just took a piece of saran wrap and I just kind of gathered it and I glued it on the paper. And then you can see where there's an overhang here. I glued it to the top of the overhang and then put the little cap on it.
Mhm.
But there's no, what do you call, glue or anything like that on it. That's just the saran wrap.
Did you put rosin on the saran wrap?
No, I said I just gathered it. There was no,
okay.
nothing on it. Just
That'd be something like that would be good to do your hanging baskets that you did, huh?
yeah, like I took the piece of saran wrap like this and just kind of gathered it and pulled it down.
Yeah.
And that's it. Of course, this isn't like it is on there because this is kind of big. So you try it a couple of times to see how big you need it, and then you cut off the excess.
Yeah.
Like this extra on the side, I would cut that off and then regather it. So it's just kind of dimensional like that. And then glue it at the bottom and turn it and glue it on the top underneath the rocks, and it's attached.
Oh, okay. So you don't have to put the rosin on top of it then?
No, no, and this one, I kind of fanned it out a little bit where I glued it onto the cardstock. So that's all the water features I have.
Is Lori still on here or has she left? The one that the pictures in the
Jackman.
files. I don't see her. So, okay, anyone else?
I have one,
All right.
Linda.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can do this. I'm using my laptop, and so I don't know how good it's gonna work, but I have, it's actually 3 projects. We have 3 quarter scale projects. Can you see them?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now this one, I'm going to try to tip it over. This one has, let's see, no, the pond is at the other end. This end has the pond.
Okay, back a little ways.
Yeah, you're too.
Back a little
ways. Yeah.
Way
more.
back. Way back.
Maybe
The lighting
Has
is
the
not-
little pond.
That's the lighting.
Yeah, it probably is.
tip it more. Yeah, that's a better.
That better?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, it's quarter scale, so it's little. And all I did was dig a hole into the foam, paint the bottom of it, and then I took a piece of clear plastic, like would food come in, cut a little circle and put it on top.
Mhm.
Oh, so you didn't use any plaster, huh?
No. And it's got fish and all this, but it back.
And how big how long is that?
The whole thing?
Container? Yeah, the whole thing.
Oh, 6, maybe 15 inches or so, 18 inches maybe. It goes in one of those cases that model cars and stuff.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it's a funny story because there were 3 quarter scale projects. The pond, the sunroom, and the potting shed. And it was from Quarter Connection, and I can't remember now who put together the kits. But I had them all together, but they were separate. And so then I was sitting and just looking, and I thought, ta-da, they all go together.
Yeah.
So I put them together.
I don't remember the sunroom, so it must have been a long time ago.
Well, it was one of the Omaha, Nebraska State Day projects.
Oh.
From a long time ago. So, there were probably only, 25 or 30 people maybe that did it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I also have a good example of what not to do.
Okay.
Over on this corner, I don't know if you can see it, but you see where the base warped right here.
Yeah, the base walked up.
Well, that's because this part is foam core.
Oh.
and foam core warps when it gets wet.
Mm.
So when I put the grass and everything on it, it was of course wet and this corner warped.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the other corner too, a little bit.
And I don't know if I can fix it or not. I haven't tried.
Well, if you glued it down to your case, it would.
I think so. If I could get some glue in there and then clamp it down, maybe.
Uh-huh.
I
Double
haven't
stick
tried.
tape.
Yeah.
Double stick tape for carpets.
Oh, that would work too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That will hold it down. It will not go
Yeah,
anywhere
but,
then.
it's in one of these cases,
Yeah.
long cases. So I would say it's maybe 15, 18 inches long, those cases. So that's my
Yeah, you
water
gotta
heater.
keep them dust free.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So,
That's the main thing.
but it was a real eye opener when I realized that the three could go together.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's what I have to show.
I like it.
All right,
Okay.
who else?
Let's do our program. It's 8:30 here on the East Coast.
Okay.
What program?
We have a program?
I thought this was the program.
I don't know what she has in mind. This is great.
Maybe she doesn't. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna have to check out anyway. My computer is about done.
Can I show you something while Paula's doing, looking for the program?
Sure.
Yeah.
I did a
I'm
practice.
not looking
with-
for a program. Lucy's doing the program.
You already
Okay.
did it.
Let me just show you this. This is the stencils.
Oh, yeah.
Tina, I just did a practice on a piece of mat board. Put some gray paint down and just use some white spackle.
Oh, those are the deals you got. Yeah, the stencils.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I haven't used mine yet.
Me neither.
You
Well,
need
those
to use
are-
you need to use a lot of stencil spray, or the pieces will come up. You can see on this one, it's a little bit muddier, but the two bottom
What
ones
do you
turned
mean
out.
stencil spray?
Well, it's stencil adhesive.
Oh.
So you want your stencil to lay absolutely flat while you're putting your grout or
Okay.
your spackle on.
And
if
then
don't
you
put
have to
enough,
let it
it'll
dry.
go underneath.
And you let it dry to when you before you
Not
take
really
the
dry. I
stencil.
just sort of let it dry for a minute and then tap down my stencil on it. But I probably didn't put an even coating on, so you have to make sure you do that. And then I just took some spackle, which started out purple and now it's getting white as it dries. And you can see my grout because I put it between it. You can see where the pieces were. So actually they worked pretty slick for my first attempt.
Yeah.
That's super.
So if you got them, they're not hard. And the video that's in there that she puts in the instructions is super good to watch. So
There was a video in there?
I'm sorry?
I
If
didn't
you-
remember a
If you
video.
ordered some stencils, you got
Yeah,
a
I got
sheet.
them.
Okay, on the front of that sheet, at the bottom,
Oh, on the direction sheet,
on
there's
the directions, right at the bottom, there's a YouTube.
Yeah.
And
I
if you
watched
follow
the
that,
YouTube
Tina does
video.
a good YouTube video on how to use them.
I'm gonna have to watch that then.
She has a good YouTube video.
Yeah.
Even if you don't buy them, you can go look
Yeah,
at
you can
the
go
video.
through the, yeah. So they're actually dimensional, which is kind of cool. So next time I would do them, but I just wanted to try them and see, and they turned out pretty good.
Now,
What
if
gauge
you
are those? What scale are those that you did?
These are the quarter.
Those are the quarter. Oh,
Yeah.
terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah,
now
I got
for
them. I just haven't
for the
used them
brick,
yet.
if you wanted red, would you just
You just take your spackle and if you watch the video, she'll show you how to make it look sort of
okay.
red, etc. So if you watch her YouTube video, she shows you how to use that.
And you mentioned spackles or stencil spray. Is that what it's called, or is it some other kind of a product?
Yeah, she said she got hers it's stencil adhesive. And she got hers at, she said Hobby Lobby's or Michael. And it looks like, hold on. Looks like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a spray.
Yeah, I got mine.
It's a spray glue that
Yeah, it's just a spray adhesive. It's repositionable.
Yeah.
I got this at the scrapbook store. But it's repositionable glue is what it is. And
Now somebody else did a mold for bricks and stuff and a roof. Who was that? Does anybody know?
I don't know, but I washed them off and they're perfectly clean. So very impressed with them, quite honestly.
I wonder if this would work. Pattern stick?
If it's repositionable, it probably would. Does it say you can use it on stencils? Because hers actually says it's repositionable stencil, stencil adhesive spray.
I got something from Susan and Andrew.
Yeah, it says repositionable glue designed specifically for working with stencils.
Oh, no, this you have to iron on a warm setting.
Yeah, then no, that won't work, no.
No.
And this is specifically for stencils as well.
Yeah.
I
Great.
got
Thank
some.
you, Pat.
Yeah.
Some
So
brick
just so you can
molds
see that
from Susan and
that's
Andrew.
my first
before
try,
they-
so I'm pretty pumped.
Good.
Pat, who did you get the stencils from?
From Tina McDonald in Edmonton. She's
Yeah.
Mini Minutia on Etsy.
Yeah, many minutia.
Yeah, it was Tina
They
McDonald
were
on
on
they were one of the round
round
tables.
She makes them in all three scales.
Yeah, she has them in all three scales. So, and she just puts them in an envelope and sends them. Jen, you'll get them like in 2 days.
I ordered it
Out in Canada.
February 10th. I haven't gotten it yet.
Really? February?
Yeah.
You should let her know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got them pretty quick.
But Jen's in Calgary, so I know she can almost walk there with me. So. So yeah, they turned out really well. That was it. That's all I had.
Thank you, Pat.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, any more water?
I had one.
Good.
Well, these are plants, but let me pin myself so I can know. Oops. No. Okay. Can you see?
Oh,
Now
yeah.
okay, but it's faint. It did discolor a little bit, just a little bit on both of these. But these are dramatic. This one is brown water. Because it's a brown stem, paper cover wire, and it's brown, the paper cover wire. So that brown paper colored the water.
Smells fine.
So
it just
it's
looks like the water needs changing. That's all.
And,
right, but when I got this kind of arrangement,
Well, it's more like real life.
Yeah.
Now this one, I put a little tint, green tint in the water, and it's great.
Good idea.
You know, so it won't be yellow looking, but it's a green tint to it, like the stems. You know, it appears like the stems are making the green tint
right
to the water, and then so now I'm afraid to even use like all of that because of the it changing. But this one, I don't know if you could see, I just barely use a little glue in there so it looks like the stems are touching it.
Yeah.
So
well, I wonder if you sealed your
gotta get out of here.
Flowers and let that
well,
before
I don't know if I sealed those. Usually now for a few years now, that one is a little older. A few years now, I've been painting the wire stems.
Yeah.
Before I use them. But I probably didn't paint that one, the brown
with the
It just
brown
looks to me
stem.
like the water needs changing, so.
Do you think if you put a sealer on them, Sharita, it wouldn't turn them brown or?
Well, that's why I started painting the wires
Yeah.
with acrylic paint so that, and then but then when you cut the wire, the person, you have to make sure that you're doing where the wire is exposed, you know, paint seal it off too.
You gotta
Yeah.
put a tab of paint on the end.
Right.
So
But
what did you use for the water?
it's just like Envirotex.
Okay, so it's two part?
Yeah, 2-part. Yeah.
So
But,
from what Lucy was talking about, it sounds like that quick water. I think that's the one, quick water, that is for that sort of thing now.
Okay, I think I
Yeah,
did I
this
write
one.
that one down?
Yeah, like Kathy has showing there.
Wait, let me see. Let me find you.
They say it won't turn yellow, but I haven't tried it yet. I bought it at Michael's in the floral department.
And the link for that is on the files.
Okay.
And that's what Lucy was saying earlier, to use the product that's for floral.
But I still would seal the stems or varnish them or paint them, even using it in that, because it's still a liquid and it might take the color out of the paper.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what, when I just paint a bunch of stems at a time.
Yeah.
And with the green, just green Seminole
That's a good
paint.
idea.
Yeah.
Except sometimes in quarter scale, it makes the stems too thick.
It does, but I have 33 gauge wire, and then that wire from like this from Templeton Miniatures. Is she out of England?
Yes.
Yeah. This is very, very, very fat, and it's soft though.
Oh.
It's not stiff like 33 gauge, that other wire. But this is so soft, so it doesn't, it's just too soft. Because it's 36 gauge, but it's real soft.
I wonder
So
if you coat it with clear nail polish, if that would seal it so nothing could permeate it.
well, this comes white, but this whole spool I painted green. So this whole spool I painted green. So because it comes white like this.
Yeah.
But I painted this whole spool green, but it's still too weak. I mean, it's really, really fine though.
You need kind of a stiff wire to make a flower on, don't you? Yeah.
Right. That's why those other that other wire, the 33 gauge, I wish they had that smaller than 33 gauge, but I still paint. I have been doing that for a few years. I paint the wire.
Right.
It doesn't crack when you put it back on the reel? The paint?
No.
When you do what?
Cover.
Yeah, well, this is cloth covered wire.
Covered.
Right, but the other wire is paper covered wire.
Yeah, I prefer paper.
This
the
kind of
paper's better.
Yeah, this kind of wire is paper covered wire. We were talking about that. Mary Kinlosh, she sells it on Etsy.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I used to get it at like the Bishop sell from Pierce Miniatures, but she and I think she has it on the on her website also though, Pierce Miniatures. But the 33 gauge is pretty thin though.
Right.
Yep.
But still, and it's still stiff enough, but even when you cut it, you have to make sure then you do it again to dip the ends.
And what gauge wire is on the roll?
It says silk covered. That's what it says. Silk covered wire.
Oh, silk covered. Wow, I've never used that.
Yeah, she's from England and she's been at the Tom Bishop show. She's on what is that? That show they have mostly every month.
You got it too.
Oh, Shelley Norris is?
Yeah, yeah.
Shelley's.
She's on there, but she's from England though.
Oh, nice.
36 gauge, huh?
Yeah, this is 36 gauge.
And that's the one that's too thin, huh?
Right, it's very thin. Now, it's nice for like vines and things like that.
Yes, it would be.
But when you have to put it in a vase or something, that makes it harder to use. But for quarter scale, it would be nice if it was stiffer, a little stiffer.
What is the other one you use, the 28?
Well, I usually use this kind of wire, but I usually use for the quarter scale 33 gauge. It comes in a package like this.
Yeah.
But I usually use the 33, and this is 28 here, but that's like for 1-inch scale, the 28 gauge.
And it's a paper covered wire, huh?
Right, it's paper cover wire.
And where do you get that?
Mary Kinlosh on Etsy, she has it.
I can't remember where I get mine, but it's the same wire.
How
Yeah, I
do you
used to
spell
use
her
it.
last name?
Kinloch. She's on Etsy.
And someone in the chat.
I used to get the cloth or the paper covered wire from Dragonfly. I don't know if she still has it.
She doesn't have the real super fine though, like the 33. But she does have some. Or she didn't the last time I looked anyway. Let me say that.
The last time I looked, the smallest she had was a 30.
And it's like
still around?
$15 or $16 a pack.
Yeah.
No more water things. Oh, one thing on mine here, we used cellophane tape, like Scotch tape, for the waterfalls coming out of the pump for a base, and then poured the whatever we use for water down that.
Really? Oh, that would be good too, I guess.
For,
I
short
have a
areas.
question about the things you use for the water. Could you use one of those or some of them to pour and put a little color in, like for lemonade?
Realistic water, I do that.
Okay.
Tea.
Yeah. Tea or coffee or lemonade or
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, and it's small, little tiny cups and stuff, or even pitcher or whatever.
So do you color it before you put it in the little thing?
Yeah, I've got a bottle of
You can color it with
tea and
alcohol
stuff.
ink.
Alcohol ink, okay.
You can color it with alcohol ink, or they sell some coloring stuff you can use.
Okay.
Is gallery glass still around?
Yeah.
Hobby Lobby.
Okay, and the only thing is, if you put it in little containers, it tends to shrink a little bit, but you could.
Yeah, and then you have to
add
keep
layer.
repouring it.
Yeah, just pour a little tiny bit on top after it's dry.
Oh, the Mary Kinlosh, she's on eBay. I'm sorry, eBay.
Yeah.
And the wire is $16 plus $3.25 shipping.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a package of how many?
It's 200 in the pack. 200
You
wires.
might want to split it with somebody.
Yeah, that wire is extremely thin.
Yeah, quarter
Very,
scale.
very thin.
Good for quarter scale though.
Shirley, you get some small wire like that, don't you?